the diplomatic tension between Nigeria and the U.S. It appears no country wants this situation, not even China. The president of China and Trump met last week in South Korea when he raised the tariffs and all of that. You know, every country wanted to hold meetings with him, with the U.S., you know, to resolve the issue. And here we are with this on our hands. Were you expecting this from the build-up of what we've seen right from a month or two away from now?
Yes, I was actually expecting this, and some of us have raised this concern in one or two forums, which we have had the privilege to give a talk. I think if you look at it, just like you rightly said, 2 or 3 months back from now, you will see what how the U.S. came on Nigeria in time of visa reciprocities, and with what will be enjoying for like 5 years visa being reduced to 3 months, and the drama and the battle that have been always back and front. You know, it's like some of us or some of Nigerians or our leaders have not fully prepared for this. They thought that it's just like a visa of 18s. Did not know that the battle have not actually ended. I think to me, is what I see that actually extended to this. This issue is issue that I know that it can also be resolved diplomatically. Exactly. So we also believe that the two leaders, the President of America and as well as the President of Nigeria, taking a step to see how they can also meet, it will be solved diplomatically. So it's away from what people are just saying on the street. I know that it's very deep. There is more to it. Maybe it's a way that the two states need to come together to see how to settle their differences and see how they can also move forward. They have been enjoying a cordial relationship in the past a lot. There is no way that America can say Nigeria is no longer needed. Because if you look at the type of volume of trade, even between the two states is enormous. The
geopolitics.
Yes, the U.S. company that actually, you know, assisted in Nigeria is also enormous. And if you also see the remittance, even that they're also coming, even from America to Nigeria, is also enormous. I don't think the two countries can just even do away with their friendship, even just like that. Like I said, I say more to this, which I believe that those at the end of affairs, especially at the diplomatic affair, should be able to look inward and see how they can solve this amicably.
That is, if we actually have those who have the competence at that diplomatic level. But we'll get to that and more of the solutions. But we're just trying to set the tone on what the real issues are. We'll get when Trump, Tunji Asaulu, sorry, that's his own name. when Trump made the first post about designating Nigeria as a country of particular interest, Nigeria's reaction, there was a statement by the spokesperson in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs reacting to that. It was not signed by the ambassador. It was not even signed by the minister or the Minister of State. You know, and Professor Kwaja mentioned that we don't have career ambassador. Yes, what's his name now? Ambassador Tuku was Nigeria's ambassador to Germany between 2017 and 2022. Ambassador Bianca Ojukwu, the Minister of State, was ambassador to Spain and High Commissioner to Ghana. Though they were political appointees, not career ambassador in the way here. And the most disturbing is the fact that he's mentioned that the permanent secretary is not a career ambassador, which is wrong in the first place. Is that the reason why we're having these challenges?
I don't really think so. My colleague actually spoke very well. But let me start from your question. It's not about whether the minister is a career ambassador or the permanent secretary should be a career ambassador.
To understand the issues.
There is a different, let me tell you this. There is a professional diplomat. Yes. And career diplomat. Yes. You can still be a professional diplomat and even know the job. The truth of the matter is who knows the job. He spoke very well. It's not an ambassador, but he's a professor of international relations. Yes. I am a professional diplomat, so I know the job. It is a matter of who know the job. or who know what to do at the right time. All of us must not be a career ambassador. If you leave the OT for career ambassador, how will even the career ambassador serve all the countries?
But the ministry is like the hub, is the technical team. So if you have a non-career ambassador as a permanent secretary, how is that?
This is the ministry is just not. It didn't just happen today. We have been having the Minister of Foreign Affairs has been there since, and we have been having this similar of concern. And as of today, there is something that I also call an ambassador of institute. Once you become a permanent secretary of a foreign affairs, irrespective of your background, automatically you become an ambassador. It has also become conferred on him. And let me also tell you that these two people are not the only one that is also minding the ministry. There are a lot of careers ambassadors. There are a lot of departments. Yes, there are a lot of departments in the ministry. I'm familiar with the ministry. The issue at times is go beyond that. What happens if a matter is also coming from the U.S.? Do we even have an ambassador to the U.S.? No. So,
from what he said, even when we had an ambassador in 2017, where he was at the U.S. Congress when this issue perhaps was... Don't forget, this is just a redesignation. Trump, in his first term, that 2017, because of that report he's mentioning...
I told you that this issue did not just start today.
Yes.
Is the proactiveness on the side of even the Nigeria. And he said that it's not only Nigeria that actually appeared on that list.
Yes.
So why do we have to leave the matter up to now? So I can say that it's an accumulated issue that have not even been resolved. So why do we have to wait until this time? And why are we not able to take a precaution action even back home? Why should we allow all those things that make us to be a country of a concerned interest still be accumulated or reoccurring in Nigeria? I think what we need to do is how do we come out of this, which is even the solution that we also be talking about.
How do we handle this situation now? How we don't have the career ambassador or career diplomat as permanent secretary. We've done the missteps, and all of that. How do we solve this?
I don't also want us to escalate this matter beyond this, because there are a lot of Linda principles according to the UN Charter, which actually define every member state of the UN the right of sovereignty. So for the fact that the US too has also come this way does not make them to be the Alpha and Omega. We should also know our rights. I'm not taking away this. I've said it that we need to also address it. But the Universal Charter of the United Nations actually defined the core principle of the sovereignty. And when you go down the ladder, that same principle further explain that no member of the UN, of that state, should have even discriminate even other. And the territorial integrity must also be respected. So for the fact that it's also coming from the UN does not mean make Nigeria to actually be low. They are both member of the UN with that universal declaration, Universal Charter, actually binding on them. That does not take the responsibility of its member states. But that Charter also further explains the relationship, the cooperation that can exist between the two states. So if the Trumps is coming this way that it's okay, you want to unleash war on Nigeria, it's not possible. It's actually undermining.
His statement said, his post said may. He didn't say he will or shall. He said may.
That is why
the Nigerian government does
not. That is why I don't even want us to escalate the matter at this. May does not mean the talk is also cheap. Until we also come to that level. But we shouldn't also allow it to also come to that level. May does not mean that yes, it will do. You can just raise something that will become a word discuss, a topic of discourses and all that, and that does not mean that action will also be taken. I'm not saying Nigeria should also leave the matter as they should treat it as a matter of levity. They should also approach it. And that is what I said at the beginning, that is a matter that needs to be discussed at the diplomatic table. The two leaders need to also meet and see how they can also iron their differences. There are a lot of things that are actually accumulated to this. You will see that at the end of the day, this thing will be resolved amicably without even,
with a photo shoot and all of that.
Of course,
before the two leaders meet, there are also supposed to be meetings at different levels. I will engage the solutions now. Professor Asaolu, we know the Minister of Foreign Affairs, you say you are conversant, you understand how it works. But from what Nigerians have seen, since this issue started, at least the immediate causes, the Trump two social media posts, the only thing we've seen from the ministry is statements signed by one spokesperson, you know, and then we saw, you know, the president also made a social media post, and every other person is talking about it. We know that when the U.S. Senator raised this issue in the U.S. Congress, after a while, when the Nigerian National Assembly resumed from their recess, they set up a committee to look for facts, as if they are going to election petition tribunal. They should look for facts put together so that they will go to U.S. and engage their colleagues, their counterparts in the U.S. Congress. We're hearing the president is proposing or is to meet with Donald Trump. You know, what do we need to, because we expect that maybe, for instance, the Minister of Foreign Affairs in Nigeria will meet with his U.S. counterpart, you know, before the meeting between the two leaders so that issues are strengthened up when they meet. We don't have the kind of Ukrainian president, Donald Trump exchange at the Oval Office.
Yeah, I think, thank you very much. I know that the Nigerian president cannot be radical at that level. I agree with you. You know, all this back and front have only one solution. And that solution is, you know, if there is no smoke, or so to say, there can't be fire, or if there's no fire, there can't be smoke. In that the Universal Declaration that I talked about, there is a report that is also linked to it. The report is called International Commission on Interventions and Sovereignty. Under that report, I think the major point in that report is responsibility of protection. Mm. So a state, yes, they have sovereignty. They are sovereigns on their own. I think that is the angle where all of us are clamoring on. Oh, U.S. cannot do this.
The pride of sovereignty.
It's pride of sovereignty. They are also forgotten. There's also a responsibility that actually attached to it, which is the responsibility of protection. Because if there is no killing, I don't want to go the way maybe a Christian or Muslim and all that, because I know the America that are talking, they know why they are talking, because one citizen is very important to them. They can go after whatever to make sure that that life of that citizen is protected. But in case of us here in Nigeria, so is that become like a story. When it happened, we ask how many. It's not about whether it happened. It's how many people killed or died. So if Nigeria should take it as a matter of priority to do the needful, and that primary needful is the protection of lives and property, to also make sure that what we are being accused on is not occurring again. So if we take ourselves so serious, like my colleague in the studio on Zoom actually talked about unity. If we are speaking with one voice, I don't think there will be external forces that can come and also defend us. So my advice, which is even the solution, is for us to also start from there to make sure that that responsibility of protection is actually being taken as a matter of urgencies. Two, I know that my colleague made mention that we in Nigeria have actually not shifted, even from the foreign policies that we used to know. Even this current government has a good policy that actually center on 4 Ds. Number one, development, democracy, then diasporas, and demographic. Are we saying that are not good? When we're talking about growth, it also means that Nigeria should be at the forefront of even the leadership for the Africa. We're actually providing it because where Trump is going, he knows that once you attack Nigeria, they have also gotten even the whole Africa.